Have you ever found yourself on a purposeful road to a destination only to take a sudden detour on an unfamiliar path? Well, this week on 15 Minutes of Shame, Shame Free Life Radio, we're going to have a candid conversation about detours to destiny. Let's talk.
Today is about the power of you.
We can be whatever we dream.
You're locked into another episode of 15 Minutes of Shame. Each week, we'll help you rebuild your life one brick at a time by addressing real life issues from a practical and biblical perspective.
I had to believe in myself like never before.
This is the Shame Free Radio Show.
Finding a solution to become the greatest.
And now your host, minister, author, grief and trauma support specialist, Dr. Ronald Zion Roseborough.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is it.
Good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you are from coast to coast, from the left coast to the east coast, around the globe. You're back for another installment on 15 Minutes of Shame on the Shame Free Life Radio. Of course, I am your host, Ronald Zion, and it's such a pleasure to be back with you once again. And we're going to definitely get into this topic. I can't wait until we dive into detours of destiny, or detours to destiny rather, and also introduce you to my in-studio guest. But first, we're going to resume after this commercial break from our proud sponsor. Have you considered continuing your education? Or do you find yourself, like many, sidetracked by life, fear, or excuses? Well, I've come to tell you there is absolutely no perfect time than right now. Time is ticking away. Get your degree today. Rehoboth International Bible College is an accredited university designed to meet your higher biblical educational needs. Simply go to RehobothInternationalBibleCollege.com or call 866-235-0812 extension 0. You are the greatest investment, so it's time for you to reap the dividends. Detours to destiny. Let's get into it. But first, I want to introduce to some, present to others, Stephanie Sanders. And she is an amazing actress, singer. She does voiceovers. I mean, she wears so many different hats, and she does it very well. She's on various social media platforms. And if you have not seen her in action, as far as her acting skills, you definitely are cheating yourself. And if you have not heard her sing, I'm telling you, she is really amazing, and God has blessed her with a tremendous gift. And Stephanie, thank you so much for stopping inside the 15 Minutes of Shame, Shame Free Life Radio. And you do so much. Who is Stephanie Sanders?
Well, Stephanie D. Sanders, we can't forget the D because that is so important. Stephanie D. Sanders is a young woman. I ain't old. I'm a young woman from Florida who has grown up with entertainment basically in my blood. And I tried different routes of work, career, and so forth. But then I just couldn't turn down that entertainment that was still bubbling up in my spirit. So she's a fun-loving person, professional, very driven, very motivated, and I think most importantly, self-motivated. Self-motivated, because there's a lot of times we don't get that motivation from other people, so we have to find it within ourselves. So I'm a whole lot of stuff that's kind of like a gumbo, a nice pot of gumbo. That's good. I'm gonna have to use that one. A pot of gumbo just warms you up inside, but it's all good.
Absolutely. I mean, you said something very interesting, Stephanie, as far as being motivated. And, you know, especially during the season of coronavirus, where a lot of people are unmotivated to even just enjoy life. And so, especially in the business that you're in, you have got to be motivated. Tell me what what drives you? Because so many people get sidetracked, sideswiped by life, finances, foreclosures. We see the news and the devastation that so many people are enduring. But even in that, we all have a gift and a talent to invest in the lives of others, but there's got to be some type of motivation. So in essence, what motivates Stephanie to do what you do, especially in the entertainment industry?
I would say it has to be vision, because we're given different visions throughout our lives, and if we pay attention to those visions, then we'll act on them. And for me, there's certain levels and things like that that I want to get to with those visions and goals and things within myself. So having that vision before me of where I want to go and the things I want to accomplish, and then what I want to do to turn around and help other people and bless some young people along the way. All of those things play a big role in my mind. And I think it's just something innately within me too. Uh, you just can't turn it off, you know. And, well, you can turn it off if you choose to, but it's very difficult to leave it off. If it's something that's really ingrained in your spirit that you want to do, that you want to accomplish.
Hmm. Absolutely. Vision is so important. The word says without a vision, the people, they perish. Stephanie, just keeping in sync with the topic as far as, having a destination, you want a particular road, a particular path, and then you find yourself taking a detour rather, and oftentimes the detours are to either avoid something that is on down the road that we cannot see, or we're on a path and we have to take a detour to get to a better path in order to reach our destination, or just make a pit stop along the way. As you begin to just look at your life and even before singing, before acting, before voiceovers and all of that, um, can you relate to on a path and have to make a detour because of something that was so devastating, and you had to regroup in order to now uh, find yourself on a different path to get to the place where you started out?
I'd say before the entertainment, well, even when I was younger, I kind of dibbled and dabbled in that as well as with sports. I remember one major thing that happened in my life was I got injured playing basketball in my junior year of high school, and I came back to play, and I actually sprained my knee about 3 more times. The doctor never really told me that I needed a brace, even after asking him. But that in itself was a big detour for me, because my goal was always to go to the Olympics and to run track and field and win in several events that I was running actually in junior and senior high school. So after that basketball injury, that really turned things around for me completely. It shut everything down in that area. I was communicating with Bob Kersey out in California, and he was telling me to send videos, but I couldn't anymore because I couldn't function like I used to prior to the injury. So that was a major, major thing for me. I ended up having to stay home a year and a half after high school for surgery and rehab. Then I decided after that point I wanted to go to college. So I decided to go to college, and I was like, okay, since I can't really play sports anymore, maybe I can announce sports. So that's what I started doing, announcing sports at the radio station, hearing updates, and I started going in that direction. But I actually found even more of a love for entertainment once I got more into my major, which was radio, TV, and film production. So that kind of led me in this direction that I'm in now, in which I done radio now and television things, all those things that I still want to get back into because they all tie into each other so much. That was a major thing that happened for me, and that kind of steered me in the direction that I'm going now for television, film, radio, voiceovers, all of that.
Of acting, there's a level of fortitude that one has to have in order to succeed in that industry, and the fortitude has got to be rooted in one's identity. And there's so many different actors, be it Denzel, Angela Bassett, you name them. So many that talked about overcoming rejection. Now, rejection is something that we will face in life, ready or not. It is coming. And what are some of the things that keep you focused? What are some of the things that keep you grounded in your own identity when it comes to the rejection that you receive in the entertainment industry? Because just because you may be you may read the script for a particular part, that doesn't mean that the director will select you, even though that you feel in and of yourself that you are the best candidate for that particular part, that scene. So how do you overcome rejection?
I think now that God's got a blessing with my name on it. So I have to keep that in mind when I do anything. And I think I learned that really quickly when I was living in LA and auditioning for certain things. You would go in and you might be really stressed about the audition or whatever, but I don't know when it was, but at some point it just kind of clicked for me that, okay, go in here, give them 1,000% and walk out. And if it's yours, it's yours. If it's not, next, so you keep moving forward. You don't get stuck right there with that one. Oh, did I get it? Did I get it? You think about it here and there, but it's like, okay, I did that. I did my best. Boom. What's next? No matter what it is, because you've done so many things. There's still a lot more things and a lot more levels to this that I want to get to. And you don't necessarily always get the call. You don't necessarily always get the auditions and things like that. So it's like, oh, well, why didn't they contact me back? And why didn't they reach out and blah, blah, blah. But I have to just keep in mind that whatever's mine is mine. And if God gives it to me, then that's what I'm supposed to have. And when he gives it to me, I'm going to bring it every time because, you're grateful for having the opportunity and having the ability to do what you do.
I have another question for you, and we definitely have to go there because I understand, your faith. You make it very known on IG and wherever you are, as far as not only what you do from a acting and singing standpoint, from a talent perspective, but also your faith. And there is no gray area when it comes your faith in the Most High, the Lord Himself. Now, in the industry of Hollywood, we understand that there is a dark side to it. And my question to you, how do you, Stephanie Sanders, how do you remain grounded and anchored in an industry that many have fallen through the cracks of darkness to never recover because of the proverbial casting couch, which many actors and actresses have said that is true. If you do this for me, then I will do this for you. And so much in so many regards, prostitution and wickedness that's taking place. So how do actors and actresses like yourself that are only interested in using the gift that the Most High have given you to be a blessing to so many people and also have the inner enjoyment by detouring the foolishness? So how do you avoid those particular dark pitfalls?
I have not experienced the casting couch situation personally, but I think it starts with your own personal mindset and what are you willing to do for this or for success or anything like that. Now, had I been younger, um, way back like 20 years or so ago, I don't know that I would have done that. But it's a growth thing. And then too, God has placed me around certain people that I have been growing up in this industry with. And a lot of them are godly people too. So I see them, I pay attention to them, but all in all, the decision is going to be yours. And I know me, I think it's growing up the way I did with the mom that I had, the sister that I have, and seeing them and how they serve the Lord and then following in that path and then having my own mind to say, you know what, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that foolishness. It's not necessary. You know, you either want me for this role or you don't. Um, that's not part of who I am. So I'm not willing to take that kind of a chance or risk or whatnot just for the sake of a role. I mean that's basically you're selling your soul for a role. So that's not going to happen. You know, for me. You know, I mean, it hasn't happened yet that somebody has approached me with that, but no, mm-mm. I'm just,
Right.
that's all I
Standing
can
your
think of.
ground.
No, exactly. That is it. No, you have to decide upon that because that other than that, it's what you said. It's the level of prostitution. You know, and you have to go home with your own conscience. You have to go home with somebody's not even really violated your body, but you gave it to them. For what? For a role? Okay, you can get another role. You know, I don't have to sell my soul to do this. You know, and I'm not going to, not especially not at this point in my life. It's just not necessary. It's really not. But you
Absolutely.
have other people on the other side. It depends on their mindset too, because they may not be thinking the same way that you are. And they just think that they can challenge you or test the water, so to speak. You can't control them, but you can control you.
That's right. Absolutely. Let me ask you a question. When did you discover that that you were that you had that gift as far as acting and singing? How old were you?
um, Acting. I think my mom put me in one acting class for summer, and I was probably around 10 or so, something like that. So I was really young, but I only did that one. And the singing, I always loved to sing, but my thing was I did not sound like Whitney Houston. So my mother bought me this little red radio, you know, that had the cassette player. I would take that little red radio in the bathroom for maybe 30 minutes or so after I recorded all my songs on the radio station. And I had it good with them. I could call them and say, okay, can you play this and don't talk? So I can just have the song because I used to break dance and they knew me from that. So they would do that. And I get in that bathroom and practice like nobody's business. But I came out sweating, but I didn't sound like Whitney. So I never sang for a long time until I moved to Seattle after college. And at the radio station there is where it kept coming back up in me that I love music, period. And I still wanted to sing. So a friend there who worked overnight, same last name as me, Marcel Sanders. I told him what I wanted to do. He encouraged me to go get this piece of music because he heard me sing a little bit. Say, get this piece of music, listen to this, listen to the background, listen to the music, listen to this. And that's kind of where things started for me way back then, but it didn't really develop until after I got out of college. And as a matter of fact, that was the same radio station that I started acting because there was a lady that came in with New Black Arts West Theater. She interviewed and I told her my interest, so I auditioned for a production, and that's where the acting started for me, as well as the singing. So I guess Seattle was my starting point back in
Okay.
1995. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, you mentioned, finally, I want to ask you this question. You mentioned as far as doing a lot of mentoring, as far as in your community as well, and finding the time to do that. If there are some people right now that's listening to this broadcast, and they are obviously, what kind of advice would you give them as it relates to breaking into the music business? Because we understand that it's not only entertainment, but it's also a business side that most don't have an understanding of, or not prepared to deal with. What type of advice would you give a young Stephanie that's listening to you right now?
I would say find out what's your lane so far as where you want to sing. Always remember that the message you put out there is the one that you're giving to people. So we have to be accountable for the messages that we put out there. So for the singing, find your market that you're interested in, who's doing what in that area. You have to determine who you're going to be before you get into it, because it can change you into something else that you're not really that person. So figure out who you are, where you're trying to go with this, what messages are you trying to deliver. Find you a good vocal coach, or go to YouTube. Several videos and things on there. Get you a producer. Start listening to not just the music and the people singing, but listening to the lyrics. Listen to the lyrics. How are they singing that? What's the message that goes with that? And just start developing that craft, and you'll eventually start running into certain people that do music, that do producing and so forth, because things are so viral now on the internet or virtual, that you can literally do everything yourself except for the distribution. That's a little limiting unless you get a record label.
Mm-hmm.
But you can do a lot of these things for yourself. You can sell your own music. You can sell your own music on your own website.
Right.
You can sell it in person. So there's a lot of avenues that you can take. You just have to determine where you want to go with it. Who are you as an artist? What style of music? And what's your goal? What's your goal with this career?
Absolutely.
Music. And just go for it. Go for it. But you have to recognize and realize, okay, is this my gift for real, or is it just something that I want to do? And you can get that from people you know. If they're honest with you, you can get that from people you know. Don't try to be somebody else. Just be you. There's enough of everybody else. Because if you're not going to be you, then who is?
That's
So
it.
you have to figure that out and just do you and just go for it. Go for it, because you learn a lot of stuff along the way. I'm still learning. And I don't mind. And that's another thing. Be open to learn.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know everything. Even after you get in certain areas of it, you still don't know. So pay attention. Be mindful of the people that you deal with, and give it your all. Give it your all.
That's it. That's it.
Don't sell your soul in that industry. Don't sell out. Don't sell your soul to be in this industry.
That's it.
In the end, it's not worth it. It's not going to be worth it in the end.
Absolutely. What does it profit for a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul, or what would he give in exchange for his or her soul? I mean, that's, on that note, Stephanie, how can people get in contact with you to purchase your the CD, the various CDs that you have? If they want to just find out more about you, how can they get in contact with you? Because you have several recordings that are out there. How can they get that?
Yes, there's several that's on Amazon and iTunes. You can get it from there. If you'd like to get some of the material directly from me, you can always reach out to me on social media, from Instagram to Twitter to Facebook. I'm definitely on all of those, and it's usually simply up under my name, Stephanie D. Sanders. So you can look for me on all of those platforms. And if you send a message and when I get to it, I'll definitely answer back. To get all of that, if you simply put my name, Stephanie D. Sanders, into Google, it'll pull up a lot of information. You can reach out to me there and we can see about getting you some merchandise. And I also have a website you can check out some information, which is my name, StephanieDSanders.com. So that's a way you can get in contact with me. Now for acting and things like that, you can contact Avery Sisters Entertainment in Atlanta. You can contact them so far as getting me in those major motion picture movies, as well as television and voiceovers too.
Awesome. Well, listen, Stephanie, we want to thank you so much for stopping by the studio. Hats off to you. Thank you so much for all that you do. And definitely look her up. You have all the information out there. And we definitely continue to pray and cover you and believe in you and just the wonderful things that you are doing. But most of all, the gift that the Most High have given you, blessed you with, that you are freely giving it to others, and we're reaping the benefits of the glory that is upon your life. And we thank you so much. This is 15 Minutes of Shame, Shame-Free Life Radio. There you have it. Stephanie, that's D as in Divine Sanders.
D. I'll take that. Stephanie D. Sanders.
Stephanie D. Sanders. Thank you so much for stopping in on the Shame-Free Life Radio and sharing your time and your talent with us. And definitely look her up. She's on all the platforms. Definitely cop her music because it is an investment and the sister can blow. I'm telling you. So thank you so much, Stephanie. Definitely have to have you back at a later date. This is 15 Minutes of Shame, Shame-Free Life Radio. Until next time, regardless of where you are, how many detours that you have taken, but you're back on the road to your destination because your life begins when you say so.
Thank you for joining us on the Shame-Free Life Radio Show for 15 Minutes of Shame. Follow us on IG and Twitter at Shame-Free Life. For information on promoting your business with us, contact us at theshamefreelife@gmail.com. Until next time, your life begins when you say so.